Hi everyone, welcome to Artistic Painting Studios guest retailer spot. I am Maury Curtis Dunbar of Painted Studios here today. Jennifer invited me in and I am doing some birdhouses with V-mask foils. So today, you'll see here, this is one of our birdhouses. This is so cute. It's a castle. Now, I'm holding it like this because I just did a live on my own page where I showed that I had painted this with set coat dark brown and then painted the entire thing with our Artsyville foil adhesive. And now we're going to have some fun. We're going to release foils onto this and then we're going to deal with the mortar. And we got 3 birdhouses today. So we've got, hold up 2 fingers, we have 3 birdhouses. Oh, save me. That's how I've been doing all day. Oh my God, I'm a mess. All right, so we're gonna choose a foil to use. And I haven't really decided which one I wanted to use. We have our, which one is this? I think this is Old Colorado, which is deep and dark. And then we have our pewter wall. Oh, Susan, that's very sweet of you. So this is our, what the heck is this? Pewter bark. And then we have, let's see, we have our copper slate. We have Serengeti. And we have a bunch of others over here. I think what I'm going for right now on this one, I'm going to do the copper slate because that's the one that I have that most resembles stones. And I think that would be really friendly to use on this surface so that as I bend things around, I don't have verticals and horizontals to fight. So we're going to do with the copper slate. Just so you know, on V-mask foils, these foils, you have a different color back than you're used to. They're either going to be a deeper brown or they're going to be black like this. They are not fabric foils. These cannot be used with the, I mean, you can apply them, but they won't hold up. You'll lose them in your first wash. They're not designed to go on fabrics. But they can be used on all kinds of other surfaces, and this is going to look so cool. So I'm going to have to, all right, so I can get this done right the first time. I'm going to get a couple surfaces on the back so that I can flip this then back to me. Do you not send to Australia? We can make things work. Actually, Jennifer, I think it has suppliers. I know she has a couple in New Zealand. I don't know what else she has in Australia or around the world, to be quite frankly. So you might want to check in and hopefully Jennifer will catch this question and answer it because I don't know exactly who she has as a vendor in Australia. All right, so the reason I'm doing the back is that then I can flip this down and I can give you a better view with the camera on how we do the rest of it. But just in case you wondered, yeah, that's nice release on there. And I didn't even try on the other spots. All right, so we're gonna set that back now so that you can see down. I'm gonna flip the camera down so you can see a little better. So here we've got the face of this. I'm gonna set that piece over the side. We'll use it to piece in missing stuff later. Like I said, we have a nice coating of Artsyville foil adhesive on the painted surface of this. And these come, when you get these birdhouses, a lot of these craft birdhouses are very rough. The wood is coarse. So you sand it, paint a layer on. When it's dry, you're gonna have to sand it again, then paint your layer on. Because otherwise you're gonna have a really, really rough texture to be fighting against. I know, because I've been painting these surfaces all day today. And I have soft scrub brushes. This is a big but soft one. This is a smaller one, but super, super stiff. And I even use toothbrushes. If I got a surface I gotta get to, I'm going to find a way to get at it. All right, let's see if we can get up here. Oh, yeah. I mean, that's sharp looking. Look how sharp that is. Jennifer's webpage is artisticpaintingstudio.com. And she will have a list on her webpage of all of her retailers and where they are around the world. So you should be, I think there's like a find a retailer thing on there. Obviously I'm listed, but there's lots of other ones around the world. I mean, this is just coming out. Look how cool this is. Okay. This is for the person who doesn't want the traditional brightly painted cutesy birdhouse. This has got some elegance and some sophistication to it. Of course, you never know what I might do to it to glam it up too. It could be creative. Well, let's face it, it will be. All right, let's get me onto another surface here. I'm coming up behind again because I have to lay one side down to get to the other side. I'm going to try to get this while you're watching. Obviously, I just smoothed it with my hands. I'm going in with the brush. So there you can see it partially foiled. So look at the difference between where the foil is and where the foil isn't. It's super sharp looking. This actually was an excellent choice for this because this one has sort of a stone-like texture-y finish to it. This ended up being an excellent choice for this surface because then I can match it up without having to worry about vertical and horizontal lines on it and everything lining up perfectly. All right, get in there. And you see how easy this release is. Sometimes I can just rub it with my finger and it just comes off, no problem. All right, so I've got to do it that way. I need a little more foil. And I'm going to show you how we're going to handle the adhesive that's in the grout lines. I got to get all the foil on here first. I have been doing a ton of lives lately, and we've been doing a lot of online happy hours and friends meetings. You know, I know everybody's struggling with not being able to go out, so since we can't go out, we're trying to bring the friends to us. I hope you all are finding ways to do that too. Now, if I'm not looking up, your questions are right here in front of me. But if I miss your question, don't worry, I will be going back through everything. I always answer the questions. And even if I verbally answer them here, I answer them in writing underneath your question so that you always can find the reference. You don't have to zing through the video, you can actually read it. And I just love how this is coming out. Oh, wow. I got to get up into the turret. Oh yeah, and this is just coming out so sharp. And one of the things you need to notice about VMAS foils is that they have little flakes. It's a little thicker than most, you can see it up in the edge there. It's a little thicker than most other foils. It's not a problem when you get the flakes, whoops. But try not to do what I just did by throwing stuff around. It's not a problem to get the flakes, they just need to be dusted off. You can take a little brush and just knock them off the edge. Pull up there. Got a little extra there, and see, I just brushed it off. It's that little bit of flakes there. All right, let me see where I was. I haven't foiled. I didn't get that side on this turret, side of the turret. Now, if I find I have a spot like I have right here that I missed with the foil adhesive, I can just go back in and brush it on and refoil it. Won't hurt a darn thing. You won't even see it. And the release on this foil is so nice, and see, I miss a couple spots because you're painting a whole lot of surfaces and trying to get all these little details. So there's spots that I've missed, and I'm not at all concerned about it. And the other thing I've got to do is do the tops here of these the turret stone wall cutouts up the tops, because I put foil adhesive on there. And I got to tell you, I'm not going to get great release on it because it was a rough surface even after I sanded it. I don't care. I just want the hint of that up there. The implication. Let's see if I do anything with my fingernails, if it releases differently. It works just fine. It all works. And then I have to do the same down here. Unlike Jennifer, as a retailer, I save every little scrap of foil and everything else that I get in, and then whatever's left goes into the packing materials bag. So sometimes, like with Jennifer, when I send stuff out, you might get some foil in your package. Why? Because I don't believe in wasting. This is perfectly good packing material. Plus you might get a little sample of something you've never tried before and suddenly find something that you're in love with. I've done that myself from some of the scraps that I've received in my packages. All right, we're almost done. Okay, so now I have this completely foiled, but I have all of the masonry lines. So the question is, what do I do with those? And those are all filled with foil adhesive. So my options are I could completely top coat this thing and that would seal all that up and it would be no problem. Rachel, give me just a second to answer your question. Let me finish what I'm doing here and then I'll read it more carefully so that I know exactly what you're asking me. Sorry, I got a little bit of not dried foil adhesive right in the doorway where I globbed it. So this is a product called Chocolate Shatter. And I can sprinkle it on here. And then I dust it into the grout lines. You can do this with glitter as well. This happens to be made out of glass. It's a little coarser than regular glitter. That's why it's called Shatter. Okay, look how cool that is with the sparkly grout lines. And I'll do this whole thing with that. Look how cool that is though with the sparkly grout. You can see the difference. Up on top doesn't have it up in here, but we have it down in here. And I love this. All right, let me sweep this up. I'm gonna pick the camera up. I'm gonna answer a couple questions, and then I'm gonna go grab another birdhouse to work on after I clean up my shatter, because I don't want it floating around on this table in front of me when I'm about to go and get something else that has foil adhesive on it. I'm not putting the same foil on, so. All right, let me answer, let's see. All right, okay. You may have asked it already. Can you explain the difference between this foil and the textile foil? Sure, Rachel. The difference is V-mass foils and some of the other foils that Jennifer and I both carry, they're not designed for fabric. Fabric foils are more flexible and they're designed to go through the washing machine, and they're designed for constant use and wear, so they'd be bendable and stuff. These foils are made to be put on a stable surface. They're not machine washable. They won't hold up to the washing. They will probably crack a lot. This is especially V-mask. V-mask, if you saw me dusting them off, it tends to want to flake a little. So they're not good for fabrics unless you put it on fabrics and it's set aside and you never use it for anything. Honestly, that's the only way I can see using V-mask foils on fabric and having it be successful. If you want to use fabric foils, if you wanted to foil a seat cushion or something, you need to use a fabric foil because it will not be flexible enough otherwise, and you need to use fabric foil adhesive because that's what's designed to be on fabric, whereas our regular Artsyville foil adhesive is, again, designed for a stable surface, that it's not designed to go in the washing machine. It's not going to hold up with the dryer. It's not going to do any of that. So what you want is to use fabric foils on fabric or on any other surface, but only fabric foils on fabric and only fabric foil adhesive on fabrics. They won't work otherwise. You will be very disappointed in the results. All right, I hope that answers the question. I'm going to go run over and grab another birdhouse and we'll be right back. Hang on. Okay, grabbed another one. This is one I painted, God, age and a half ago and never did anything with it. So I've already painted the body in set coat black. I painted the windows in set coat gravel gray, and then I have applied foil adhesive to the roof. Anything except the base that's light gray, because I haven't decided what I want the base to be. So I painted this light gray color, and I already had a plan for what I was doing with the roof, and we're going to use our V-mask antique mirror on the roof. I figured I wanted it to look a little like a snowy roof. I like that idea. Now, I am going to get really far from a perfect release on here. The surface is not perfect. My painting was not perfect. I'm okay with that. Again, I make that work. So I got a little piece of our antique mirror. Let me take that piece of tape off my hand. I'll stick it on the copper Slate foil that I put over there. And we're going to start releasing on the roof. Again, I've chosen very specifically a non-directional foil so that it's really, really easy to maneuver it and not have to worry about staying in the proper lines, keeping it perfectly vertical or horizontal, because I don't care about that for this piece. And you're welcome, Rachel. Happy to help. That's very sweet of you. All right, so you can see that I've got that nice release on there. And I picked the gray color because silver over gray reads really well. And then it also hides the breaks and the flaws of the application really nicely. So, well, if I look really hard, it's really pretty, it's not easy for you to see except right here where there's no foil applied, where the gray breaks into the silver. Let's see if there's a little spot there I can release. And I said this in the video earlier that I did today, but not on this one. Please be aware that the foil adhesive and the foils are not exterior rated, meaning that the foil adhesive is not meant to be used outside, and neither is the foil, because we don't know, it's an issue of light fastness, meaning whether the color will break down out of the foils, but it's also an issue of whether or not the foil adhesive itself will hold up to weather. Now, if you want extended options with that, sounds like I'm selling you a car. You can use, like we're doing here, the set coat, exterior, interior rated. Our top coat for this will be interior, exterior rated, just because I want to see how fast this would break down outside with our protections on it for exterior. I will not put any UV protectant on it because I need to see how fast the foils break down in the light, but I think this is... Oh, Susan, I guess I'm answering you that question right now. So yes, the birdhouses will go outside. I'm just not sure how the colors will hold up. I'm going to find out. These are specifically noted as interior rated products. So if you've got something that has to be outside, use a top coat with UV protectant in it. Use your base paint that is exterior rated, so that the only thing that's at all in question outside is the foil and the adhesive, and you should get more life with this outside with those precautions taken. And if you can find a top coat that has UV additive in it, meaning that it's been given an additional chemical that increases the UV protection, that will also extend the life of it outside. These are so cute. This is coming out so cute. So there are ways to work with it, but again, in the long run, I don't know how long the foil adhesive will hold up outside, even under the best protection. That's what we're working on right now. But I'm telling you, do these for outside. Slap some strong top coat on it that's meant for exterior, and put it outside. Don't, worst comes to worst, you might have to do this again. Oh no. You might have to refoil your birdhouse. And by that time, you might be tired of what you're doing this time. So it might be even better. I've redone so many projects in my house, and each time I redo them, I love them more than the last time I had it done. And I practice a lot of stuff myself for things that I want to do for clients. I usually practice them on my own furniture first, so that I can be sure how well my idea is going to hold up. I don't want anybody to pay me a lot of money for a lot of hard work only to have it fail because I didn't check it out well enough. So you can see we've got our roof is getting all shiny and foiled. Look how cute that is. This is going to be a great looking birdhouse. And I don't know about where you are, but it's a little warm here to me, so I'm going to have some iced tea in my disco pineapple. Give me just a sec. Sorry, disco pineapples make the day better. All right, let me get this down in there if I can. It may not want to go where I just shoved it. I may have to replace it. Wouldn't be the first time, won't be the last. Now this one spot I'm working on right now, I had practiced a texture that I was creating a shingle with. I wanted a shingle texture created, and then of course I never did anything with it, so it's going to be messy. Do I build these houses myself? No, I don't. I have a resource for them. I bring them in, but I know there's plenty of craft stores that sell various forms of birdhouses, and they're very reasonably priced. This happens to be one that I don't even carry. I don't remember where I bought it. I bought it that long ago. It's been sitting around my studio for forever. So I honestly can't even tell you where this one personally came from. Got to get down under the eaves to get all of the roof line. And see, I can see right here, I've missed a spot on my roof line, so I'm gonna have to come back, put more adhesive on there, work on that. No big deal, that's what we do. Get in there. And you know, doing this is not a fast project, but it's really satisfying. I love, you know, I honestly, I love a good project with a lot of little details. That's kind of something I really enjoy. I know other people like their projects to be sort of a, you know, a fast swipe and look, I got it done. Not me. I like lots of detail to work through. I like lots of corners to fit things in, even if they frustrate the tar out of me. I just like a lot of creative surface. Let's get up in here. So you're all doing happy hours online with friends, or, you know, like family meetings. I've had happy hours online with friends. And then today we are, I don't know if it's a happy hour or a family meeting or a little bit of both, but I have cousins all on the East Coast right now who I don't get to see like I normally do. So we're doing one of those today in about a half an hour. And I get to see all my cousins and their kids and their kids' kids. God, I don't know how we all got so old to have our kids having kids. Not ready for that one yet. And again, neither is my son, so I guess I'm in good shape. Okay, so if I want a more flawless finish with all my foils, I go back and put another layer of foil adhesive on, because again, like I said, if you look in here, these edges are coarse, even though they're sanded. This is not an expensive piece of wood. This is going to be made out of something like poplar or balsam. This is not, I don't know what the heck this wood is. I would say it's probably birch. A lot of sample boards are made out of stuff like Baltic birch and things like that. So more likely than not, that's pretty much what this is going to be. It's very rough on the edges, so it needs better sanding. Hey, Barbara, nice to see you. Debbie, nice to see you. You can use fabric foil on wood, though. Yes, absolutely. You can use the fabric foil on any surface, hard or soft, as long as the adhesive will stick to it. You just don't want to use the non-fabric foils on fabric, because you're going to put a whole lot of effort in and it's all going to just wash off. You're not going to be happy with it. All right, so we're going to do the windows next. Over here, I think. There we go. I had to check and look for pieces of my foil that I hadn't already released on other surfaces on here, because I've kind of scrubbed out a lot of stuff with it. And this is time consuming. Foils are often used for a fast result, but I often do stuff that really requires me to take some time with them, because I kind of love the way it looks on stuff. I don't kinda, I actually just do. So you can see now how our front is shaping out. We've got that antique mirror on the windows and on the support. I don't know what the heck they would call this. It's just a cross beam. I spent 5 years studying architecture and design in college, and half the time I can't even remember the name of the parts of the building. Glad my mom isn't alive to hear that. She'd be so proud of me. So again, we're getting all these little details, and if I think nothing is got enough foil on it, but I've released it completely, I will go back and put more foil adhesive on it. Normally when I do a second release of foil adhesive though, I get the entire piece almost totally completed and then go back because I want to see what really shows as an important thing that needs to be fixed. You know, stuff that shows up really weird now may not show up as anything by the time I'm done. All right, I need another piece of foil that's not completely chewed up. Let's see how this works. Here we go. We'll take some of this one. Let's see if I can get in here. There we go. Get these little windows done. Yeah. And see, these window frames were so coarse, even though I completely coated them, the foil adhesive kind of sucked in. So I'm going to obviously have to go back over that. And really, that's a lot of what happens when you have something that's coarse like this, and it's a very porous wood. No matter how many times I swear I've done over it, I need to go and do a little more foil adhesive, and that just is what it is, and it doesn't bother me. I'm just sort of like, okay, that's a challenge spot on my piece. So instead of getting mad, I just go, all right, that's the piece I got, that's the spot I got to work on. I'm okay with that. That. Oh, this is coming out very cute. I'm going to need a little more foil because I got to get into those stairs. I remember I did do that spot. And the touching you just saw me doing is to check to see if I actually put some foil adhesive in a spot that I couldn't remember, but I did. And I can already feel it's not going to be a great release on there because it's rough. But it gives me a little so that when I come back, I can go around and do more. So I can still feel sticky on the sides here. Imagine how much harder this would be to do and get into all these crevices if I had put foil adhesive on the whole thing. Am I using foil versus grout? I'm not sure what you're asking me about foil versus grout. Will you put on a sealer before you put... yeah, I could put a sealer on, but then it gets... I don't like to create a whole lot of wet layers and wet layers and wet layers that have to cure up, because if I'm going to put a top coat on it, I really have to let that top coat cure up a bit so that I don't seal in additional moisture and cause myself other problems. Normally, if I just work with what I got, I don't try to fight things so much. Because I'd still, even with a top coat on here, I'd still have rough texture to fight. So I might get a better release. I might not. I'm not really sure. More likely what I'm just going to do is I embrace things for what they are. If I needed it to be perfect, I would have approached it differently from the beginning to the end. I would have sanded flawlessly. I would have used a grain sealer. I would have painted very carefully, primed at all things, gone back through here, sanded every layer. But I'm not doing that. I'm taking these birdhouses for what they are and how they came to me, which is a little rough, a little coarse. I can live with that. And then I work my materials with them. And what I'm doing right now that you can't see, I'm scrubbing the stairs. Really, it's just you're in a weird bunch of surfaces that are really rough. These are inexpensively made. I mean, if somebody's making much more sophisticated birdhouses with more polished woods on them, you don't have these troubles. And I have worked on those birdhouses, and they're lovely. They are much more expensive to purchase than they are but that's not a bad thing. You know, these are like $10, $15 birdhouses versus, you know, $70, $80 wooden birdhouses that are completely unfinished. And I've worked on those beautiful, expensive birdhouses. They are lovely too. The wood's better. But this, I'm gonna make this one look amazing no matter what the wood is, because they are awesome. They have great designs. I mean, castles and churches and what the heck is the lighthouses? Sorry, I lost my word for a minute. We've had gazebos. We don't have any of the gazebos anymore, but you know, we've had a lot of great patterns with these. You just, if you want a smoother finish, start out by sanding. I hate sanding, so I didn't do that very much. And that's my own fault. I own that. You know, we all have things that we love to do and things that we hate. I need to partner up with somebody who loves to sand as much as I hate it, and hates to paint as much as I love it. That's what I need for a partner. Let's see. So you can see where we're going here. You can see we're getting more foils. The doors still are going for the adhesive on those. But right now I'm really laying in the foil roughly. I am not trying to get it. I'm getting my first pass with the adhesive to get it into all the weird spots that I have put the adhesive on, and I'm sticking my fingers through foil right now just to get it all on there. I'm sorry, I gotta face it towards me for a second just because I have to see what I'm doing. When I turn it to you to see, that means I can't see it very well. Let's see. Now I'm doing this very fast too because we're doing this for a live. When I'm sitting here and just working on stuff, I go slower. All right, well, let me get these last two doors. Somebody said, "Hi, Mom." I assume that is for Jennifer or somebody else, because Jenny, I'm sure you're a lovely person, but I don't know you. So I know that's not directed for me. And I just shoved the brush on the ground. Okay, so I've gotten my first rough foiling laid in, and you already see how sharp that looks on there. I love how this is. I'm going to set this aside now. We're going to get our last foiling project for the day, because I think we're all, it's closing in towards end of day here in Illinois. It's almost 5 o'clock, and my cousins will be waiting for me. So this is, whoops, let's not knock the tea over. Oh Lord, give me a sip here. Nothing better than a disco pineapple on a hot day. All right, so this is one of our church birdhouses. You can see I have already foiled part of it. We've used our Silver Glitter Stars foil on the body, And because I want to have a red, white, and blue birdhouse going, we're going to do the roof in blue glitter stars. I love this foil. Now the roof has already been had foil adhesive applied to just the roof. I have not done the steeple. I have not done any other parts of this with the adhesive, but we're just going to cover this. And again, the undercolor is important. Why? Because where it breaks, you're going to see it. So I picked a dark gray to go under the blue because that will be a kinder release. So when things will break down, when the foil breaks on the surface, and it will look better because we've got a darker color underneath it. Now, I'm not scrubbing too hard because I don't want to cause myself any flat spots, but I can also see that this is releasing really well. I don't know if you can see this on camera, but there are spots in here that look flatter than others, and where it's kind of bubbled up, like right here, it's already almost completely released to the surface. So I like to try to work those bubbles across the surface as much as possible, because that means I'm getting really good release. Oh, I love it. Our glitter stars roof. Now you're not going to see the stars quite so easily in this because again, it's kind of got a texture to it, but I love it. And it doesn't show on camera as well as it shows here in person, but there you can actually see the stars. It's just a little harder to see. And get that part up by the steeple. And then we're going to get the other side of the roof. And these are the new foils. Jenny, not the mama. I love that reference. That's a great reference. Not the mama, not the mama. I don't want to say it, but my son used to do basically the same thing to my ex-husband. Not the mama. He'd call me mom and call his dad, not mommy. It didn't last very long, but it was funny, kind of. It was funnier to me than it was to my ex. All right, let's get that on there. Take that piece of tape off my hand. Oh yeah. I just got to get a couple spots here. The foil didn't grab on before. Just get in there with the brush and scrub it. This really does need the bristles because I've got the wood grain that I'm working with here. I think I've got the front and side edges on this, but again, I don't expect this to be a great release because even though I sanded it, this is the edge of the wood and it's rough compared to like a fine edge of finished furniture. Although this one's letting go much better than some of the others have. Either I sanded it better or it's a different piece of wood, but you can see that it's releasing better on there. So we're going to do that. I know the doors, I got to paint them a different color because we're going to do those red. We'll probably do down here red, and we're going to do the steeple red. And maybe just a little bit of blue right around here. I don't know, I haven't gotten that far yet. I'm working on it, folks. I'm very happy with how this is all coming out. I just want to get this last side edge. Now, if I missed any of your questions, I will go back and answer them in the feed, and I will list all of the foils and everything that I've used in the post once this is posted. And I sit home tonight and relax a little. I'm going to go in there and fill in all the details. And if you want to see the beginning of this, you're welcome to go visit me on my own page at Painted Studio so you can see where we started with the birdhouses. All of these products that I'm showing you in the foils and adhesives are available at artisticpaintingstudio.com. Don't hesitate to reach out and ask me or Jennifer or anybody else any questions you might have. It's been great spending the last 50 minutes with you. I hope you enjoy our birdhouses. I'm just falling in love with this. We're not done with the other two yet, so I'm not quite in love. But yeah, falling in love with my castle birdhouse. I might have to keep this one for myself. All right, everybody, sprinkle the love, please. Use that sprinkle button down there, the one with the arrow. You know what that means. Sprinkle the love. We're working on growing our groups and our audiences and being able to create content and contests for you. So absolutely, please pass us around a little bit. And have a great sunny Saturday, everybody. If I haven't answered your questions completely, please post more questions. I will answer better. If I haven't made sense in my answers, let me know. I will, again, work to explain until you understand. If you don't understand what I'm saying, it's not your fault, it's mine. I haven't been clear enough. So let me make sure that you understand everything I was saying. Don't hesitate to ask a question. Have a wonderful Saturday, everybody. Thanks for stopping in. Bye-bye.